Okay, elevation's not bad. Velocity is 3009. It's a little higher than I expected. Looks like we need 2 minutes of wind. And we're a little high on the elevation, but that was a cold bore, so won't put too much stock in that. We'll just send a couple more out there and see how we do. We'll be adding another minute of wind. That was a little bit upwind, 3001. So I think our elevation's pretty reliable. It looks like we need to come down maybe 6 inches. That's almost a minute at this distance. Five. $1,001. Wow, that elevation is really good. Now that I kind of figured out where center was. At 3005, 3001, 3025. That one jumped up quite a bit. And there's one in there that I missed, so I'll have to get that later. But those last three, after I came down a minute, that elevation's under 2 inches. That's really good. All right, I think I got it good enough to put something on paper. Let me come back up, click, and put 1 or 2 more on steel and then shoot a group on paper. I'm getting a little bit of horizontal, but I don't know if that's just the wind variation. I'm guessing it is, or the variation in the load, but I'm guessing it's mostly the wind and not the gun. All right. So a minute was a little bit downwind. Again, that I came up a little bit, so that elevation is still really solid. 3011. Okay, I think I came up 1 click, so that would make sense why it went up a little bit. Go back to 1.5 minute wind hold. Pretty much dead center. All right. That's enough screwing around with the steel. Not going to do much better. All right. I think we got 5 left in here. Put those on paper. See how we do. way over there on that hilltop. Let's see how we did here. Oh, almost fell down the hill. Woo, not too bad. That's pretty good. Looks like I had that wind nailed. Let's see what we got for vertical there. Try not to slide down the hill here. Oh, let's see. A little under 3 1/4. About 3 1/4, just under. Pretty darn good. That's half MOA. This is 640 yards, so half 1 MOA at 640 is 6.7 inches, so we're under half of that, so sub half MOA of vertical. That doesn't suck. Good stuff. Alright, get the steel painted and back up on the hill. We'll fling her out to 1,030 and see how we do. Alright, we're back up on the hill. Went and got the 2-foot square at 640 painted, just so I can use that to make sure the wind hasn't changed much. Pulled our paper target with that group that we just shot at 640. That was 3 1/4 or whatever it was, so not a whole lot bigger than a credit card. So we're going to get on steel at 640, make sure the wind hasn't changed much, then I'm going to switch to 1,030 and send some out there and try to get a 5-shot group out there. That target's a bit smaller than the one at 640. It's only 16 inches, which is 1.48 MOA, so just under 1.5 MOA. So I'm going to have to be on the ball for wind to get hits on there. And then because the impacts don't show up all that great with a cartridge this size, I put one of those hit indicators on there, so you'll see that light up when we make contact. So like bottom edge, wind's good. Adjust it a little bit, now we'll shoot 5. Little upwind, but I'm not going to change anything. Off the side, so I'm going to have to take a little wind off. All right, how did that go? Well, you saw that shot really well at 640 yards. Looks like we have just under a 4-inch group here, and it was around like 3 1/4 inches of vertical, or just under, which works out to a 0.6 MOA group, 0.47 inches of vertical, or 0.47 MOA of vertical. Really great performance. And then at 1,030, you saw that we were getting pushed around by the wind a little bit there, but overall shot really well. I think we lost one off the right side. With the targets we have here on steel, looks like just under 5.5 inches of vertical, which is just barely over half a minute of angle of vertical at 1,030 yards. And I suppose that group is probably, I don't know, 9 or 10 inches because of the width there, but overall really good. What we care about is the vertical, because that tells us what the performance of the rifle and the hand load is, where the left and right, that's more so the wind and me just not timing the shots perfectly, but overall shooting extremely well. I think I want to talk about, let's talk about the details of the build here. So the components we chose for this were all chose for very specific reasons. So let's start with the stock. So the stock we have here is made by AG Composites. They call it the adjustable armor.
And this is a model that has, obviously it has the adjustable cheek riser, and it has kind of like a rounded beaver tail forend, which is it makes it a good dual purpose stock, where obviously you can mount a bipod to it, or put a piece of pick rail on the front and mount it to a tripod, but also that rounded beaver tail forend slides really well in a front rest. Like if you have a front rest that has a sandbag type support, like you've seen me use in the video series, like that Caldwell Rock BR. If you have a rest like that, the stock slides in there really well. And the color we chose for this model was the carbon sagebrush camo, they call it. They have like 60 different color options, but that's what we chose for this one. And then we did opt to have the QD cups installed on both sides. So if you wanted to mount a sling to it, you could mount a sling to either side using those quick disconnect attachments. The bottom metal that we had it inletted for is Hawkins Precision M5 Dropbox magazine bottom metal. And the trigger we chose is a Trigger Tech Special with a flat shoe. I think that's adjustable down to 1.5 pounds, which is where we have it set at the moment. The action we selected is a Zermatt Arms Origin, and that is our kind of our favorite go-to action. We can build a rifle around any action you want, but we found that Zermatt Origin is kind of the best bang for the buck, where it has the most amount of features that we like to see in a rifle action, but it's not priced as high as a lot of the other options on the market. That action does have a standard 20 of angle canted scope base. They do have a variety of bolt handle options. What we usually select is the extended spiral. It's like a tactical size bolt handle. And these actions are control round feed. They are nitride coated, so they are nice and smooth. And then the Zermats have interchangeable bolt heads, so that's kind of a cool feature about their actions, is you can swap out the bolt head for different sizes. So if you ever get to a point where you burn out the barrel and you decide you want to change the cartridge to something else that, if it has a different bolt face, you don't need a new action or a new bolt. You can just order a different bolt head, which those are very reasonably priced, and you can be up and running with a different cartridge. The barrel we chose, we use a lot of different barrels. Obviously, we can use any barrel maker you want, but kind of our go-to, just for ease of use and getting products done quickly, we've been using a lot of Excalibur barrels. They shoot really well. We've never had a dud. They're really easy to order, really easy to work with. We found that the consistency and quality of the steel to be really good. They have a huge variety of barrel tapers and fluting options and twist rates and rifling options. We feel like they have a whole lot to offer. So if you saw our 22 Nosler series, that test rifle that we used was also an Excalibur barrel that had a 6.5 twist. And the reason we did that is we want to make sure that we weren't going to have any bullet failures due to overspinning or excess RPM, which we did not. So we figured if we didn't blow up any bullets during the testing phase with a 6.5 twist, then you weren't going to have any issues with these 7 twist barrels once you got them in your hands. And this is a 7 twist, and I think it's 5R groove rifling. And then we did opt to have 6 groove spiral fluting on the outside of the barrel. One, to take a little bit of weight off, but we found historically that guys really like the look of it. So it does help kind of dress up the barrel a little bit, which can be the most vanilla cosmetic feature of any rifle. And then we did thread the muzzle 5/8 24 under the muzzle brake here. That muzzle brake is from Muzzle Brakes and More. It is the CF Beast 2. So CF stands for carbon fiber, meaning it's 930 in diameter, which is the size of like a proof Sendero barrel. Muzzle finishes at 0.930 inches. So that's the diameter of the brake, 0.930. That barrel that I didn't say that, but the barrel that we selected is a standard Palma profile. So the muzzle finishes at 820, and standard Palma is a good medium weight where it's about the limit of what you would want to carry around a lot for weight, but it's big enough that it'll stay consistent shot to shot and doesn't heat up terribly quickly. So the muzzle brake is, again, it's a CF Beast 2, 930 diameter. This happens to be 4-port, and it's a 2-piece brake, so it's self-timing. You think, okay, why would you want a muzzle brake on a 22 caliber? Well, this is a training rifle, so we wanted to try to take as much recoil away as possible. And as you saw when I was shooting it, like, the gun doesn't move at all. And that's what we want. We don't want you focused on recoil and anticipating recoil when you're training. We want you focusing on the wind and your mechanics and trying to iron out all of your bugs and your kinks in your long-range shooting process. We don't want you thinking about recoil. So this rifle, the way we're going to sell these, it comes with 2 MDT 8-round Valkyrie magazines. Those magazines are designed around the 224 Valkyrie, but we found that they feed flawlessly with these 22 Nosler rounds, and they allow a cartridge overall length of 2.550 inches, so you don't have much cartridge limitation there. And this rifle, the way it's pictured without the bipod, is 12 pounds 8 ounces. Without the optic on it, I think it's 10 pounds 6 ounces, which that's about the limit of rifle weight that you would want to carry around for any amount of time. If this was a big game hunting rifle, we'd recommend, if you're going to have a steel barrel, we'd recommend going 1 or 2 profiles smaller to try to take about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds out of it, or going with a carbon fiber barrel, which would do the same thing, reduce the weight by 1 pound to 1.5 pounds. So I know it's been a long road, but you can see that the end, it was worth it in the end. The way these things shoot is just absolutely incredible. So at the start of the project, we didn't know exactly what to expect with this 22 Nosler and how it would perform, but you've seen throughout the series, this thing just, these rifles shoot amazingly well, and we feel that it's the best training option to mimic the performance of your big game hunting rifle. So if there's anything you want done differently, if you want to talk to somebody or talk to me about having one of these built, feel free to give us a call. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching.